Because the director of this movie did not care about the game, and nobody on earth cares about his movie. Let's explore some of the gaming references in this movie, so hidden that even the director didn't know they were there. When you think about the Borderlands games, you think about loot boxes, special weapons and abilities, XP farming, and of course, a dark sense of humor. There was a lot of material Hollywood could have worked with. I cannot imagine them using none of that and instead making a bland, green screen sci-fi movie. I cannot imagine them creating a comic relief that feels more like a comic calamity. And I definitely cannot imagine them aiming for a really niche audience. But as you know, I like to be proven wrong, so fingers crossed, and here we go. In the voiceover that starts this masterpiece, the screenwriter will try to condense 250 hours of in-game storyline into just 20 seconds of voiceover. But before you have time to be annoyed by that, they give us something else to be annoyed about. We meet Roland, a 5'11" soldier played by Kevin Hart. But Kevin Hart breaks the fourth wall and jokes about his character being short, so we can just forget about it and move on. Kevin Hart tries to break a girl out of prison while wearing a helmet only a real expert would recognize. It is from a character called Stormtrooper, from a Star Wars Masters video game. Arguably one of the best fighting games ever released. And even though the girl wasn't even born when this game was made, Kevin Hart still agrees to take her. What a gentleman. While Kevin shows us the reason why he always loses at Time Crisis, we get to the scene that has been discussed a lot. The glass cell door scene. Making a cell door out of glass is like making a submarine out of carbon fiber. What could go wrong? This scene is a treasure chest of gaming references, just screaming to get opened. First off, this clearly is a QuickTime event, and like every QuickTime event, it happens when you least expect it.
Misdiagnosed by a, I'm not gonna say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media it went to. We know I can't say that.
It was a Jewish doctor.
If a QuickTime event breaks MC Stammer, then it surely will break our heroes. The real question is, what was Picasso doing before they triggered the QuickTime event? But the director stated in an interview with his goldfish that it is a clear reference to Mario Paint. Then we just switch to another scene because why bother showing us how they got away? Here we meet Lilith, a red-haired bounty hunter played by not Kate Beckinsale. While everyone with eyes can see that orange and red are not the same color, I am clueless who the director had in mind as his real inspiration.
Hey, sugar, wanna party?
So she pulls out her gun, which in no way resembles a Falcon 2. It even has a scope add-on. But you just have to turn off your brain, because it's time for some shooting. As we all know, after a shootout, everyone becomes friends again, minus the people that are dead, and they have a job offer for the bounty hunter. Please tell me she has some bounties to hunt. She agrees to do some bounty hunting, and they nicely ask her to look for the girl who never played the Star Wars game. Or she will look for an alien called Elvis. All options are open here.
Pandora.
A planet who has a lot in common with a Hollywood soundstage, but what can you expect with only a $100 million budget?
And they called it Puppy.
After running into the Spice Girls from the well-known Spice Girls video game, she's pointed to the way, and she goes wherever the plot takes her, without even having to pull out her, explosions! Explosions, yeah! Pew pew pew! Then it's time to introduce the comic calamity of this film, who will haunt you in your worst nightmares for the rest of your life. Lucky for us, they have great chemistry, and lucky for her, she found the only Burger King in town, so there are only winners in the scene. The next morning, she will use her pistol as a sniper rifle, and after embarrassing herself, she steals a car, which is called Grand Theft Auto, while she's dressed as a rock star, so it's clearly a reference to the AAA video game, The Getaway. For no reason, she takes the comic calamity with her to look for the Star Wars girl, and this is the start of something special. The Star Wars girl became a furry who likes to make bunnies explode. Please do not Google that. And Joanna Dark dies in explosion. When I say dies, she survives, because apparently she has the same manager as Mark Wahlberg. And even though this would have been the perfect scene to introduce Shields, nobody played this game, so they're clueless about this option, or you can say they're left in the dark. The arrival of Kevin Hart is so powerful that they go from killing each other to holding hands. And as we get into the car, I just realized how we can create global peace. In the car, Joanna Dark regrets to inform Kevin Hart that the Spice Girls are no longer in town, but he takes it well and focuses on the task of getting away from the comic calamity. They encounter a big monster, and even though they have all the room to drive around it, they agree to drive straight through it because it might look cool in the trailer. At this point in the movie, my annoyance with Kevin Hart is at level 5.4, so I have to make this point. It is not that I have something against short people, but I feel that this casting director will be casting Peter Dinklage for the role of Slenderman next. If they really wanted someone of Kevin Hart's size in this movie, they had a perfect character for him to play. But who am I trying to fool? Nobody involved ever played any of the games. But they do know how to make a good action scene.
I think I had too many margaritas.
So to fix that problem, they go to a bar and meet someone special. Everyone in the audience, except for one girl from Tijuana, go, "Hey man, that's Bobby Lee, man."
Yeah, man. Oh, man. You did, man. You bust, man. Anyway, man, it was, man, I'm not a made man.
That's what producers call $20,000 well spent. And because this was such a high point in the movie, they need an elevator to get even higher, and that elevator takes them to the Academy Award attendee, Dirty Grandma. The only reason one guy in the back of the cinema started to slowly move his popcorn up and down. And while you struggle to get that image out of your head, they are already on the road again, and Grandma shows us how she got her nickname.
Nice.
They have moved to the next soundstage faster than you can spend 100 million, and lucky for us, we do not have to think about Grandma anymore. Here, Kevin Hart tries to kill the shortest person in the group. He must be jealous. But unlucky for us, he survives and takes them to the next green screen. Next level. When you think about green sewer levels, only one juggernaut in the gaming scene comes to mind. One of the best Ninja Turtles games ever released. Ninja Turtles for Kinect. And while the gaming references are getting better and better, the jokes keep getting worse.
The excess lead. Oh, big bullet coming on!
So maybe we need to go back to some action scenes with a flamethrower. After trying to burn this movie out of our minds, the 70s kids chill with a lava lamp, but are interrupted by the guy who hired the bounty hunter, who reminds Joanna that she has some bounties to hunt. And we move into a third act conflict situation we all know from screenwriting class. And while we take a second to think about all the great games discussed in this movie and the one franchise absent from it, it's time for a small recap. The perfect dark lady got hired to find the Star Wars girl, who turned out to be a furry psychopath. Then Joanna Dark and the girl become friends instantly when Kevin Hart talks about the Spice Girls, something martinis, Bobby Lee and an old lady, no, the other one, and they move to a new soundstage, where they are officially storing all the plot holes of the movie. And the bounty hunter is missing in this scene.
Stop there.
Joanna Dark is missing in this scene. And I'm so curious if she will ever show up. Wink, wink. While trying to avoid falling into the plot holes, the guy who hired the bounty hunter comes into frame, and we get to the finale of the movie,
Commander Knox.
where we can see that they've already hired a clown for the after party. But before we can light the fireworks, the bad guy must do some bad guy things. So the furry and the grandma get trapped, and they have no way out. As we look them in the eyes one last time, they are saved by Kevin Hart. Then there's a Sixth Sense level plot twist. Apparently, there are shields in the Borderlands games. Kevin Hart didn't get the memo, nor did anyone else in the team, or in the cast, or in the building. But they give us no time to complain because Joanna Dark is back. And to celebrate that moment, the visual effects department throw in some After Effects visuals straight from a 10-year-old editing tutorial.
Hey, what's up? Andrew Kramer here for VideoCopilot.net.
They open the vault because we all know what the vault does. So the bad guy takes the furry and Joanna into the vault, and that was a big mistake. The bad guy gets trapped in the vault, and the movie changes to a Japanese film we've all seen before. I'm happy to say that the bad guy got a happy ending, and they celebrate that moment with some fireworks. With already so many great movies based on video games, I'm glad to say that this one can be added to the list. The director wasn't all about the money and was clearly trying to get us to experience something that would stay with us forever. And I have to say, job well done. Because some scenes left such an impact, they scarred me for the rest of my life.
Oh, sorry. I thought for a moment there you had rigor mortis. It was a really nice moment.